They're getting a shot to shine right now.
Yeah.
They're getting a shot to shine right now. Espanol maybe winning the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they could have Pochettino.
He's ours.
The head coach of the United States men's national team. But they let him walk out of that building before JJ was on. Ladies and gentlemen, JJ Watt.
Yeah.
Who said again? Who said again?
You know.
Who said again? Shower? You don't have a blow dryer? You don't have a towel?
Yeah, man. Freaking clean. Good burn.
Yeah.
His hair looks good. It is flowing today. Is that what you were referring to there, Jage? Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it is. There's not a lot you can attack with the hair besides the fact it's not dry because it does look pretty damn good.
4 eyes. I mean, that's a layup every time.
Yeah,
No, I wear the glasses now, so I can't. I put the glasses on every now and then, so I can't attack the glasses and be a hypocrite here.
Remember, he has the big.
The Dahmer ones.
The Dahmer ones, and then he has the right. That's the one.
The hair has been on point, though.
There they are.
Yeah, that's what we're talking. Yeah, that's exactly.
Too much glare. Too much glare.
Well, that's because the blue light's not getting through there.
Smart.
You know, you're training your eyes at the same time you're training your body. You're doing a great job. I mentioned it there. Espanol, you guys could have had Pochettino as your head coach. You guys decided to kick him out of town, and now he's leading the United States men's national team. Pochettino found a bunch of dogs. Is that your Espanol team? And why don't you have any Americans? What's that? You don't like Americans? What's going on here?
It's a. We're open to them. We're welcome to them. We've discussed a few Americans in the transfer window over the past.
Oh, have you?
A couple of these teams, but I mean, there's Spain and England are different games. Also, you have to understand that Spain's a different game. It's a much more technical game. England's a little bit more of a physical game from that standpoint. So it's been really interesting watching the two differences between leagues and how they play these games because they are completely different styles.
Okay, so England, we're a little bigger, stronger. We're knocking it down. We're getting it in the blender. We're making some plays. Spain, we're kind of knocking around a little bit. We need a little bit more individual skill and also maybe a little bit more flopping and rolling around in dramatics. Is that what you're saying? A little bit more of that?
I don't know about all that, but there is certainly a lot of technique and tactical play in there. But I mean, it's coming. It's everywhere. I mean, Pep at Man City obviously brought a lot of that with him when he came over from Barcelona, and it's really fun to watch. It's fun to break down, and you have to try and find a way to keep up because the teams at the top obviously have so much money to be able to spend on the very top players who are the best technical players in the world. And when you literally can't spend at the same level, you have to find different tactics to keep up, and that's where we're at. And we're not in the relegation zone, by the way.
I didn't say it.
I said it because that's what I was told.
Yeah, he said near.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're
lurking.
Yeah. You know we're at the bottom in the relegations. We're right above it. Is that not where you are right there? You're right above it.
Hey, you know those 3 red lines? We ain't one of them right now.
Yeah, you're right.
Hell yeah.
You're right. We're still fighting. We're scrapping. No, I heard we had a tough
We
loss.
got Chelsea this weekend. We got a big one. 7:30 a.m. Eastern time. Chelsea.
What day?
Big match this weekend. Saturday. So you'll be taking your shirt will be off by that time. So
we'll see, out there in Oregon.
Where are you guys here?
Oregon, Eugene.
Ooh.
USC's
second time this year?
Yeah, second time in about a month or so. Always a good scene. They say for game day since long before I got there. Since I've been there, always a great scene out there. Early, any of those pitch black ones that kind of start, and then there's kind of daylight at the end. And
shirtless, and you pick for $2 million. Let's be honest. Who holds the power here?
That's my pocket. That's the money coming out of.
I know.
Yeah.
I think you're paying more than that. The whole show production.
They're making a lot of money on that show. Home Depot pays a lot of money for that show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Old Dominion Friend Line.
Yeah, they pay a lot of money for that.
You're getting up there. Where is the limit? Where is the limit for the amount you are putting on a kick?
I don't know. I generally don't know.
You got to slow it down, man. It's getting
I know. It's outrageous. I shouldn't do it.
Does your wife call you after? Does she call you? Hey. That was $2 million.
It's not just the wife, it's also business. We got 18 employees here. I mean, there's a lot of people that are probably like, hey, what are we doing?
I hate rooting against these kids. I do.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes, I do get the messages from people saying, hey, let's go ahead. What are we doing here? They showed up. Way to go. Okay, yeah, that means I guess they should just get something that we have worked our asses off for here in this entire thing. Yeah, that's what everybody says.
You just made it too big, dude. You can't go back to $100,000 kick now. Some kids are gonna be like, well, I don't want to even show up for this.
Yeah, and there's no business that's going to be like, yeah, you can just say whatever number you want out there, which kind of makes it, the whole thing, So it's certainly, I've worked myself into a shoot here, and it is certainly, if you come up with your big brain, any outs of this thing, we will certainly.
I'm loving watching it, man.
Yeah.
You're on a track, and there is no offshoot. This isn't like one of those semi-truck up the ramps. You are zooming down the hill.
Yeah, and there's no more floating the gears, actually. That thing's just kind of bopping around, and it's just, we're doing this one right
Let
here.
Peter brush off the edge.
Yeah, Peter, he tried. Remember, he pooped on that kid, and then made the kick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Worried about Peter. It's a long season.
He was tired. I saw him taking a nap.
Yeah.
Peter's got good energy. He's actually becoming like a mature dog. I'm like watching it happen.
Okay.
Peter's a good dog, dude. Peter's good.
Yeah,
He's so big. He's so big. And his tongue never. I don't know if his tongue. He was a little tuckered out. He was a little tuckered out.
Time to give Mitch a shot, man. Let Mitch eat.
That bed is nicer than the bed I sleep in.
Yeah, Jay, Kirk Herbstreit's been doing it a long time. Okay, Kirk Herbstreit's been doing it a long time. He's on the road a lot.
That pillow is so nice.
So nice. He's such good. Peter actually wishes it was a worse one.
Yeah.
Kind of get a little imprint in there. Yeah, but
Sweet boy.
Peter's the best. Peter is a great dog. Herbie, obviously, in the middle of a hell of a run. Tomorrow night kicks off week 12 of the NFL season. Back to the NFL. You had the Bucs and the Bills. Josh Allen is just absurd. What is kind of your takeaway from his historic day? Him and Otto Graham, the only ones in the history to do what he did this past Sunday with J.J. Watt on the call. And I will say, J.J., I saw the people tweeting that they enjoy you and Mr. Eagle on the call. I will echo that sentiment. I think you guys are very good at what you do. And you commentated history this weekend with Josh Allen. What are your thoughts on the Buffalo Bills and what they can do with Josh?
It was a crazy game, man. 9 lead changes. I believe that's second most in a game in NFL history. It was a nuts game. It was awesome, back and forth. I mean, the very first drive of the game, Todd Bowles was heating Josh up, and he chest passed an interception out of his own end zone. And you were kind of like, oh, boy, where's this one headed? And then he just casually has 3 passing touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns. And you hear his interview, I believe it was either today or yesterday, and he said, I still don't think I played my best. I missed a few throws. And if you watch this game, that's actually true, which is scary. Like, he played unbelievable. He was playing free. He was playing like Superman. He was playing like Josh Allen. You know, you watch that Miami game 2 weeks ago, and you're like, what's wrong with this Bills offense?
Great
and then you watch them this week, and he is completely free, playing how he wants to. He tried a lateral while he was running down the field, ended up being a forward pass. But just seeing him try those things and do those things was nuts. But he even still could have been better at his own admission. There were a couple balls that he missed, and he would love to have back. So if they really start to figure this thing out, they've gone through a little rough patch in the middle of the season, but that Bills team with that offense now on the other side, the run defense is a problem.
Yeah, you can't win a Super Bowl without it, right? I mean, that's just kind of understood at this point.
I mean, unless you can score 44 every time. But no, they need.
Tex.
These dogs just don't understand. 12:10 to 1 o'clock. Just zip it.
What's their deal?
Jesus.
What's their deal? Why didn't you heel?
Usually tase them.
we don't wanna be that
tase them
dog.
during this time.
Yeah,
It's a squirrel.
where are you? What part of the world?
They're out back. I'm in the office. There's a squirrel running along the fence. They see the same one every single day, and they bark at it every single day. I have tried a couple different tactics to get that to stop. Some more
That's tough.
widely accepted than others,
Whoa.
and none of
Back to
them are
that
working.
squirrel with a hammer. What are you doing?
Yeah, are you out there like painting your
And
face?
not with the
Yeah,
I don't
with
give a
ghillie
shit
suit.
about the squirrel. The squirrel.
Well, no, you're trying to.
No,
Yeah.
this is defense versus offense type conversation with the brain here. You've done it with
You know
the
how many
dogs.
squirrels in the world?
You said it's the
Well,
same one.
you gotta get them
You told
all.
us.
You gotta get everyone that comes in your backyard.
Just trying to get a nut.
all
I-
fine.
You know, you just
that
gotta
would
get
be- That
one.
would be a problem if I was popping pellets at this squirrel. There'd be a couple problems.
That's what we thought you meant whenever you're saying like more accepted than others.
No, yeah, no.
We didn't know if it
no,
was like
I
crossbow.
don't live like you guys on arms. I got somebody who might be popping one through the window if I.
Oh, coming right back.
Mm.
Yeah. And that one probably has a better shot than you do, if I had to guess. So let's make sure that squirrel kind of understands. I guess we should not be opening fire. But on that note, if they can score 44, they can win a Super Bowl. Josh Allen seemingly can. Doesn't it feel like that? And even if he does, like Baker was 9 lead changes you talked about. Tampa Bay obviously has that as well. Can you win a Super Bowl if you're the Buffalo Bills? I guess that's the only question. And I hate that that's the question coming out of Week 11, but they have like best player in the world, Josh Allen, MVP, reigning, potentially going to win it back-to-back, which would be crazy to think about. But they are in a position where their fans are expecting and hoping, and I think Josh only wants Super Bowl. Like, that's what we're here for. Can they do it? Can they do it after watching them here in Week 11?
I think one thing we do have to say is that at home, they are a different team than on the road. Like, they are 26-3 at home, I believe, in their last 29 games. And that crowd is awesome. That stadium, awesome. Obviously, the weather plays a factor there. But then you look at that Miami game and whether that was just a letdown game where they thought they could walk in and win or what it may be. But at home, they're incredible. It doesn't look like they're going to have that home field advantage in this playoffs, obviously, with the way the Patriots are playing. Who knows how it's all going to shake out. But they're not a team I'd like to face. I would not like to try and have to stop Josh Allen from scoring 44. And I do think that at some point, that defense is going to start tackling better and is going to start playing with a little better gap integrity. Sean McDermott prides himself on the defensive side of the ball, and I think they're going to find a way to get it right. But right now, run defense is rough. I mean, Gump. Achane ran all over him, and then Tucker this last week ran all over him as well.
Achane, top 5 running back in the league, if you were to watch on a regular basis. Ain't that right, Gump?
Maybe top 2.
Gumps didn't love how Jonathan Vilma was talking as if nobody knew who the hell Achane was. And then we told him, why don't you go around the office here and just see how many people know how good of a player he is. And I think what Gumpy found out is not a lot of people know that the Miami Dolphins have a great running back in Achane, but the Buffalo Bills fans certainly do at this point, Gumps.
Yeah, he ran all over him, ran all over the Commanders. I mean, guy's one of the best players in the league as far as I'm concerned.
Fast. It's unreal, dude. Like, he'll break a run out the gap, and you're like, oh, wow, this is going to be a nice little chunk. And then it's just gone. Nobody even has a shot against him.
Yeah, that's the difference with, like, Saquon we saw last year. It was like massive holes, obviously non-contact. Before contact, the yardage was insane. But then being able to just take it to the house. Like Jonathan Taylor right now. If you give him, he's going to take it to the house. That high-end, top-end touchdown speed is what separates, I think, the guys from the top. And obviously got to have good blocking and all that shit. But Achane's for real.
Yeah.
Like he is.
This week will be a really good test for the Bills because they have the Texans defense, who's the number 1 defense in the NFL. So if you're going to have to outscore teams, you have to, if they can do it against the Texans, the number 1 defense in the NFL, then that's a great sign for them. And obviously Davis Mills being back out there instead of CJ Stroud played very well so far and won some games for him. So Thursday night is going to be a great football game.
Yeah, Dougie Mills is an absolute dog down there for Houston. He's been around for a long time.
Yeah, Jage, I noticed online you've been tweeting a few times about the roughing the passer situation that's been going on in the NFL. I guess, where do you think we're at right now? Are refs consistent with this, and how are defenders supposed to hit quarterbacks these days?
No, I'm frustrated with it. I've been frustrated with it for a while. I remain frustrated with it. I try and call it out in the games that we have when I see it. But then obviously these couple I didn't get to see because of the games we had. And I think this game, I didn't get to watch the whole game, but from my understanding, this one was first. And then there's another one later where the guy kind of has the quarterback in the grasp and lets him go. Here it is. And I think it's a direct correlation to the previous one because that guy knows I can't drive this guy into the ground. If I keep driving my feet and drive him into the ground, I'm going to get another penalty. So I need to just wrap up and assume that they're going to blow the whistle for forward progress or whatever it may be. And anybody who says this is just a bad tackle, no, he literally took 5 or 6 steps and realized I can't take him to the ground or I'm going to get a penalty. That's my problem, is if you don't hit him high, you don't hit him low, you don't land your body weight on him. This guy's right hand braces himself to protect. How do you want him to play? That tackle right there is as textbook football tackle as you could possibly make. And it just pisses me off because there's so many things. A, it's a penalty, gives them an automatic first down, 15 yards. B, takes a sack off of this guy's record, and that's huge for so many different things, whether it's Pro Bowl, whether it's contract incentives, whatever it may be. Could literally change a game, and he may or may not get fined. If they fine him for this, that is insanity. It's just, I get so frustrated when a guy makes a great play and he's punished.
Yeah, it feels like this conversation has been happening for a while. Now, the counterpoint is we had to make rules to protect quarterbacks because there was a year where we had like 90 quarters, 60, I forget what the number was.
I think it was like 68.
It was an absurd number. And then obviously go back to the Carson Palmer with the low shot. So, like, the NFL has all these things and situations that have happened that they've tried to corral and make sure never happens again. But, like, football is football. You know, like there's a chance that everybody's going to get injured. And I think we all appreciate that, hey, we're going to change it to the a hit zone or a target in which you can hit people because obviously knee injuries and head injuries are something that take out a lot of stars. But when it got to the quarterback, remember there was a conversation like, did you throw to the ground or did you place on the ground?
That's my problem. The head and the low, fine. We all agree those are out, no problem. Like this driving to the ground one is way too hard for officials to officiate.
Intent, right? It's intent
also
all of a sudden.
Football. Like it's football. Like that guy has to get him to the ground. Justin Herbert's 6'5", like 245. He's a huge dude. Like it's very difficult to get that guy to the ground. And he also turns into it there. I think the driving into the ground one is the very difficult one to officiate and often the one that makes people the most mad.
And I think if you listen to quarterbacks, every quarterback will basically go on the record and be like, I hate some of these rules.
Not asking for flags on those.
Yeah, because they look bad to their teammates. Like now, granted, they will take them. Let's not get
Yes.
They will certainly take it. And
Yeah, there's also some that are looking for him when they're not even there. Too.
Ooh, who's
there's
that?
Some quarterbacks.
Oh, we know who it is. But 15 yards, first down, good for the team. You know, that's the whole thing. Now, I would like to say, as a guy who's in a position of potential flopping, you know, you could potentially flop in that thing. Never wanted to be seen on film flopping around back there. Just didn't think the boys would take me serious. Now, there's a couple times where I got actually flipped and landed on my head.
Because that plant foot is like flat in the ground with the knees straight. That's scary.
Well, so the thing about it is I wasn't flexible enough or have good enough form. So every time I punted, I jumped. So I was in the air. So I was never really – I was in a spot where if you got me, it was going to be a –
Head over heels.
Yeah, it is going to be a show here. You know, like Cincinnati Bengals guy made the team. And I'm on Netflix Hard Knocks, and he is flipping me into my face in slow motion on the last play.
Which is worse? Which is worse, that where he comes in at your leg after you've punted it, or does a blocked punt where he gets your leg hurt more, where you can't follow through?
Brahman came right across my knee, and I punted the ball still on the other side, but his knee.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
His body operated as like a knee brace for my leg. Certainly hyperextended around him. Probably did long-term damage if I had to guess. That's the worst one. Yeah, I would rather somebody just take their helmet right through my face as I was punting, as opposed to your knee feeling like it's like hyperextending. Because it's scary. You know, it's super scary. You're like, whoa, it's over forever. I'm never blocking punts. And then he told me, no, I blocked 2 on you already. That guy was a psycho. He was so good at football.
Rest in peace.
He was so good at football, dude.
Good.
He was so fast, so explosive.
Psychopath.
He blocked 2 against me. I think he blocked 2 against me. Like every time we played him, he would tell me too before the game, coming. I'm like, I know. Yeah, I know you are. I know you absolutely are. Such good hair. What, do you have like an 8-pack too?
Yeah, the guy was unbelievable. One of the most like ripped, like barbarian-looking human beings ever, and complete disregard for the health and safety of his own body at all times on the football field.
And others. Yeah, he was awesome. I think he'd go on to win a Super Bowl with the Eagles.
Beast.
Yeah, he did.
I think he'd go on to win a Super Bowl with the Eagles.
Gave a hell of a pregame speech. You guy. Because it was like, we're all going to die today. Every one of us, we're going to die today. And you're like, holy shit. All right, I'm with you, but you seem serious right now.
And he played like that, too. And he was so good. For special teams, he was perfect. I mean, he was absolutely perfect. But, yeah, he got me one coming across this way, and he also got me one this way. So I would say strictly from the Brahman blocks, I would rather take the one coming this way as opposed to across there. But for quarterbacks, you can't be flopping around.
No.
Can't be flopping around. Unless they're going to give you first down. And then if you're on my team, let's see you flop. You know, let's get this first down.
Sure.
Let's extend this drive. Let's keep this thing going. They should have stayed away from you. They knew the rules. And JJ said, I'm a part of the problem. So I do apologize for that. Let's talk about some of the other things happening around the NFL.
We're talking about Josh Allen and kind of his nemesis in the playoffs has been Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Going into week 12 now. Chiefs sitting at 5-5, and we just had that playoff picture up, and you see him lurking right now. What's your thoughts on the Kansas City Chiefs going forward? Because I need you on record.
Yeah, I like that. Right now.
Yep.
Record saying what? I mean,
I don't know. Whatever you
Are
say.
they dead or not?
Are they
They need
dead
to
or
win
not?
Probably 6 of their next 7, because the tiebreakers aren't in their favor either right now. So they need to go on a very big run very quickly. I think that last week's game is obviously one of those that you're looking at as a marker of, all right, they find a way to win, and then they didn't. It's not, it's crazy. I mean, you look at them, you look at the state of this league right now. This has to be one of the most parity seasons that we've had in a long time in terms of the teams that you thought would be at the top aren't. We had a graphic on Sunday of all the division winners from last year and where they stand this year, and 3 of the 4 were out of the playoffs, and the Bills were in the 6th seed. So it's crazy where everybody sits this year. But in terms of the Chiefs, like I don't think it's crazy to say they have to win 6 of 7, right?
Yeah, and they got the Colts this weekend. So I don't necessarily love that the Indianapolis Colts are potentially the first team that they have to play in a time where they have to win. Okay, this is like a playoff game for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I have always been a very, very firm believer in the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid, Spags, Tobe, Veach, you name it. I just think they are great for a reason. I respect greatness. I really do. I have for my entire life. I think that is kind of something I've always wanted to know why the greats are great. And the Chiefs were certainly that. And it was something where I rode with them, where they were winning very close games when the sports books thought they were going to win by a big amount of money. And I lost a lot. I lost a lot of money riding with this Kansas City Chiefs team, but we had some good times.
Great.
Great time. Super Bowl. We did the entire thing a couple of different times. We took over the world, Kansas City Chiefs. Travis Kelce was on Taylor Swift's stage.
Yeah, exactly.
Over somewhere else. He was flying down in Brazil.
Maybe that's all he wants to
Patrick
do.
Mahomes owns a G1 team.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of
Him
other,
and Travis.
lot of other stuff, huh?
No, that's been the whole time. There's been a lot of utter stuff. That's why it's like, these guys are awesome. This is great. This is what it's going to be. This is the new dynasty, and I love that they're drinking Coors Lights. I like that they're seemingly relatable and cool. I think this is good for ball. And then all of a sudden, you watch them like the last couple of years, and it's like, I don't know if this is the same. And then this year, it's like, I don't know if this is the same. And then sportsbooks still have them on good odds to go win the whole thing. And it's like sportsbooks believe that they're going to come back. And I think it's because we all believe they're going to come back. And it's like, what if this year is a reset year for the Chiefs? That'd be crazy to kind of witness, Jage, no matter what we see.
Broncos defense, though, you got to be giving them credit. That Broncos defense is nasty. Vance Joseph, all the guys that they got. I mean, that defense gets after people, dude. And the pass rush and the coverage working in sync, like they are fun to watch, and I would have to imagine extremely scary to play against.
Yeah, I do not love that it's the Colts this weekend. Now, on that note, fresh off a bye, Shane Steichen, Danny Dimes, you know what their record is together? Undefeated. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's move along. You talking
At
about
Arrowhead, right?
It's in the home
At Arrowhead?
of
it's
the
home? Oh.
Chiefs. Yeah, the boys are going to experience.
Outdoor. Pittsburgh, that game was outdoor. That was one of the questions. We've talked about it. Everybody tries to move the goalposts on the Colts, and one of the goalposts was they hadn't done it outside on the grass. They went into Pittsburgh and didn't do it. Now they're going to go outside on the grass. I'm just saying. I'm not saying I'm saying it. I'm saying what people are saying.
Sounds like you're saying it.
Charvarius Ward designated to return off IR, so they'll have their full Camp Bynum, Mooney Ward, and Sauce Gardner.
Is he on the team?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh, is the MVP still a running back for the team?
Fresh legs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, off a bye week. Shane Steichen got to watch a little self-reflection, probably. A little bit. What have I been doing a little bit too much of that we don't love? And what have they been doing that we don't love?
Nothing. That offense is nasty, dude. It is a nightmare.
So enough with the whole what you were kind of alluding to for a second.
I'm just trying to give the storylines of the week, and that is a potential story.
Okay, yeah, it's starting to become a little bit of a taker here. Don't we kind
Could
of
I possibly?
Oh, see? People, even the internet hates it.
Oh, no.
Even your house's internet hates it.
Another storyline, Mahomes
I froze.
defeated against the Colts.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Colts are tough.
I just
Colts
froze
are a
out of
tough
nowhere.
out for
I was
Patrick
talking
Mahomes.
about how good the Colts are. I literally said the Colts offense is unstoppable. That's what I said. I said those words.
Let's remember that whenever we're thinking of the headlines of the week. Okay, now let's talk about teams. Talk about teams leading divisions that we could have never expected. Chicago Bears. Go ahead, Ty Schmidt.
Yeah, JJ, you have Steelers Bears this week. Rodgers doesn't have to have surgery, I guess, and given his history with the Bears, I think a lot of people are assuming he is going to try to go. And then on the flip side, the Bears, I think a lot of people are poking holes at their schedule and the fact that they've had so many come from behind wins and they haven't really put anyone away. But what's your take on that game and how legit of contenders do you think the Bears are?
I think you can certainly look at the Bears' comeback wins and, the final craziness at the end of the games two ways. You can look at it and you can say, all right, they're not that good. They're 7-3 with a negative point differential. That's not good. And is that sustainable? Or you look at that and you say, Ben Johnson has clearly instilled a belief and a confidence in this team that regardless of what happens, even in this Minnesota game, at the very, very end of the game, we're still going to find a way. We're not going to be the same old Bears. And that's clearly been a message in that locker room. And it's clearly something that they have taken a hold. Now, the issue in this game for both teams, in my opinion, the Steelers and the Bears, is that they live and die by the takeaway. That is just both of these defenses. If they get takeaways, they look unbelievable. If they don't get takeaways, they look terrible. So it completely is going to come down to who is able to take the ball away in this game.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers coming back with that wrist. Okay, we can go to Hammer, Don. What are your thoughts on who plays quarterback this weekend, Tone?
My thoughts are that the Bears are basically Aaron Rodgers, his magic pill, okay? This is exactly who he needs to play right now. He is the owner of the Bears. He's the mayor of the Bears. He's the president and king of the Bears. He's basically like the Browns to Ben Roethlisberger. So him getting back into this game to go against the Bears, I think would be exactly what he needs, even though I thought Mason looked pretty good last week.
All right, that's a good spot to be to have a good backup quarterback. Obviously, the Pittsburgh Steelers still have everything in front of them. Ben Johnson and his Bears team, insane to think where they are right now, especially with how it started. How it all started. I mean, it's a wild story. Bear Don at the top of the North.
Yeah,
the Bears, the kings of the North. Get used to it, Ty. Says Chicago people.
Do the playoffs start next week? No, we got like a month and a half, 2 months left, right? So we'll check back in. But, yeah, the Bears are Ben Johnson. He's the real deal. He is the real deal.
That's a Green Bay Packers fan. Now,
Can you give me the rundown real quick on that Packers game? I literally did not have a chance to watch it. I was excited to see what Jameis did. I saw a couple updates, but just run me down through the real quick of the game.
The Giants kind of ran the ball at will. Jameis looked pretty good. He had about 5 or 6 balls that probably could have been intercepted. Jordan Love's stats weren't great. The wind was a very serious deal. But when it mattered, Jordan Love had this touchdown pass to Christian Watson. Oh. And then on the most, the Giants going down to tie it, Jameis finally, in the most important moment of the game, in the red zone, he threw a pick that I don't think was really on him. But all in all, Jameis actually looked pretty good. You could tell that the Giants played very hard for him.
Yeah, and it wasn't just
Did he
Jameis.
not get a false start on that play?
I don't know. I didn't see it. Let's watch it back.
That was definitely a false start.
On Jameis?
Oh, Jameis, yeah, falling backwards, you think?
Yeah.
Sorry, all day.
Such a Jameis play. Yeah, he locks in. He's falling. No, it's not the time, Jameis. Now's not the time. But even in this snap, obviously, Jameis is entertaining. Before the game, we heard his speech. He had a press conference afterwards. And I don't know if you saw, he brought back the Harlem Shake, too. He absolutely crushed it. I mean, just absolutely.
This is the best angle.
Do the Harlem Shake.
Clean. Yeah, keep going. Yeah, not enough. After he did the feet, after he swept the feet, could have been done. He said, no, let's toss another one on top. He obviously quoted Hamilton, did the Harlem Shake. He's taking a tour. I don't know if he's going to bring pizza out for Brooklyn. I will be very excited to see what Jameis does. But that is literally Jameis football. Let's talk about football growing worldwide. We need Jameis maybe in a Super Bowl at some point. That'll help. But also the traveling games seemingly smashing success. Go ahead, Conman.
Yeah, Jay, I'll let you know that I thought you kind of did the Bucs-Bills game. You did it justice, and you didn't respond because I think you thought I was being sarcastic. I was being genuine. Just want to clarify that here. But the international games, wrapped up in Spain. Kind of awesome this year with Ireland getting their first game ever. How do you think about the entire international slate? It is being reported today, actually, that the Saints possibly might play in Paris next year, as early as next year. And also, Spain did a fantastic job, set it up perfectly. I saw McQuaid actually mention that he thinks thinks that a Super Bowl should be played over there just because of how special and great it was. I'm not sure if there were McQuaid stats on the field itself.
I believe, in order to do this, lads, we're talking just pounds and pounds and pounds and pounds and pounds of paella to actually smooth out the seams. We remember a couple years ago, in, I believe it was the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, lads, there was the big seam down the middle, and we remember David Bakhtiari basically was bitching and moaning about, hey, I can't play on this. They brought a lot of fresh paella, kind of smoothed those seams out, and a lot of lads were actually saying, hey, this is the best turf I've ever played on, lads.
You're talking about Spain. That is Irishman McQuaid, Jage. But go ahead, con man.
Yeah, but Jage, overall, how do you feel about it? What do you think about the Saints possibly playing in Paris next year? And what do you think about Tua suggesting Jerusalem next year?
I'm going to stick with the Spain game here. I thought it was, that stadium is unbelievable. Like, everybody's well aware that stadium, what they did there is incredible. They built something spectacular. What I will say, which is really interesting, is I've seen so many people saying this is a reason why the NFL players should be mad that they don't have grass. If they can do it like this, we can do it. Well, I'm 100% on board with that. I'm with the players on everything. But this is very similar in a way to what Houston had a while back with the bringing the grass in and putting it together. And like you just mentioned, Tottenham with the grass and the seams. There's seams. There's a lot of seams in that field because those are all put together. So it's an unbelievable system. I think it's incredible. It does still have, that's an engineering feat that, it was hard to get your brain to comprehend.
So much money.
Money.
I do think that this thing is headed towards an international game every week. I think that's what the NFL wants. I think that's what the commissioner wants. I think we're headed towards, at some point, maybe not week 18, but every week other than week 18, I would imagine there will probably at some point be.
All right, we have 30 seconds till hard out. You talk about the grass not being good. The NFL has filed a grievance against the NFLPA about the report cards. Just quick take on that. Just one sentence, maybe two or three about the NFL and the NFLPA maybe doing away with the way the report cards are currently being done.
Which teams complained? Was it the ones with good grades or the ones with bad grades?
We don't know exactly because there's no transparency.
I think we do. And also, they trust the players to vote on the Pro Bowl, but they don't trust them to vote on how the facilities are. There's a lot of interesting things here. It's strange. I don't think the Vikings complained. Probably they were number one in literally every category. Probably wasn't them who complained.
Yeah, but
what happens if an owner comes out and says that their quarterback's no good? Is that public disparagement? Because that sure feels like public disparagement. I'm just trying to piece this together here because somebody's upset, and you would imagine that it would be the people that had to dole out some money to do it. So maybe don't be cheap. Build a nice facility. Treat your players well. Make them happy. Be a friend, tell a friend something about that you love them, and have a great day. Be a friend, tell a friend. Gosh, I can never remember it. Have a great day.
It's so close.
That was perfect. That was perfect.
You nailed it. You nailed it.
Yeah, you just tell them whatever you want, dude. Just tell them whatever. I think you nailed it. That's what you need to tell a friend at that moment right there. Yeah, that was good.
Damn it.
Hey, that was a good take, too.
Tell something nice. Be a friend, tell a friend. No, be a friend. What is it?
It's whatever you want to do, brother.
Something nice. Be a friend, tell somebody something nice.
Close. I mean, you had the first two sentences the whole time, and then you just abandoned
tell
ship.
a friend might change somebody's life.
Close.
Okay. Very close. Here we go.
Unbelievable.
Be your friend, tell a friend something nice might change their life.
Yeah. Hey, that's more so on me than it is on you. You have no idea what it is. Probably the delivery. That should be something that's at least catchy at this point. But way to nail that. And I want to let you know, you went from take to close off like a seasoned vet. No mistakes at all there.
No flubs.
It ended muted. What the fuck is as it's hitting 0. That's wonderful. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the report cards, though, shall we? Because we've kind of delayed the conversation until this moment with you because I enjoy the way you view it. You get very upset for the players, I think, which I respect and appreciate. Your resume is also a Hall of Fame one. So normally the people that are speaking for the players in the NFLPA type situations are not Hall of Fame players. Normally it's like people that are NFLPA people. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but all of us just thought of all of us. How many years you played, JJ?
12.
How many years you play, AJ?
11.
How many years you play?
12.
How many years you play?
9.
52 years of NFL experience, okay, here on this. I said NFLPA players, and we all thought the same people, okay? Not normally Hall of Fame people, okay? Not normally like Hall of Fame guys. Hall of Fame people, yes. Hall of Fame players, though, is not normally what it is because it does take a lot of other stuff. So anytime somebody like you speaks out about things that are NFLPA issues, I think it's a big deal. I also appreciate how passionate you are in the pro player side of all of this. Now, here's what the NFL was saying about the NFLPA report cards. According to my source, says at the league. Obviously, you addressed it. The disparaging thing. Not supposed to publicly disparage each other. Obviously, there's a lot of opportunities for that for both sides. That's a part of the CBA agreement. This is a part of our business. They say that the report card is certainly disparaging to the league, and it's coming out very publicly. Transparency and who's voting is what they say. We heard like 5 guys on one team's voting, 10 guys voting on another team. Who are these guys? Are they actual players? And then they say there's been times that direct statements from the pillars of the teams have contradicted the report cards shortly afterwards. I think what was stated was something along Kansas City Chiefs, something came out about a training room or something, and then Patrick Mahomes or Travis or somebody, Chris Jones, somebody came out and said, like, we have the best trainers in the entire NFL. So I think with the way they are viewing it is we would just like to know who's voting in this entire thing. And then I pushed back and said, but it has to be made public, right? Like it has to be made public because that's the only way that change happens. And I was told, yeah, but if the owner knows this information, like think about Jim and think about the Ursay girls right now. Like if they know this information, they'd be likely to change it. And I immediately fired back. Cincinnati was charging players for Skyline Chili for lunch. Okay, so like that, there's a little bit of a different level in this entire thing. So I think they are not necessarily completely out on it, but they're just like, hey, we need to at least know who's saying what in this entire thing. Is their kind of angle on it?
Why
now,
do they not
you
have
can
any
contradict
issues with Pro
all
Bowl
that.
voting? Why do they not have any issues with Pro Bowl voting, award voting, all of that? Because I know the guys go into there and one rookie fills them out for the whole group.
Bingo.
Or guys, or the PR person fills it out for them. But they're fine with that. Nobody's ever questioned any of those things. They're fine with voting that literally affects contracts because if a guy gets voted to the Pro Bowl, he can have an incentive in his contract where he gets much more money because of it. But that's all. We don't know how that works. The fan voting, everything, like the coach voting, like that. Who fills those out? You and I both know that in the locker room, those are not properly filled out.
Yeah, and the top 100 players or whatever, I think I voted on that one time at the Pro Bowl, but all the other shit, I've never really voted on anything. And it's like, okay, so who is the ones doing it? I think for all the polls that come out of locker rooms, we all kind of question that type of thing.
And in the disparaging comments section, I mean, I have a million thoughts on that. I had a heart issue when I was playing, and I found out that was going to be reported nationally because somebody in the building leaked it. So you want to talk about disparaging players, like there is a whole bunch of shit that goes on that's disparaging from that side of things that is a lot worse than we're eating shit food in the cafeteria. All right, there's like a whole bunch that goes on. So don't tell me that that's a big deal. And lastly, like I said, it's the teams that are getting bad grades that are frustrated, which I understand. Like, yeah, you're looking bad. And that's the Vikings look unbelievable. The Dolphins, I believe, had incredible grades. And like, yeah, players want to go play for those teams who do these things and treat their people well. So if they don't want to spend money. They don't want to get right. And if you're complaining about something, it's generally for a reason. And we've seen improvements made. There's reasons teams make improvements and things get better. I don't know. I get very frustrated when like there's one little thing that the players have finally to voice their opinion on what's going on in their building. And now that thing is being suppressed and like, no, you can't do that.
See,
I mean, the Jets owner literally called their quarterback shit basically in London. Like, come on.
and I think
just said he
go ahead.
complete a forward pass.
What's that?
He didn't call him shit.
No, yeah, he
I take the word literally back. I apologize. Redact.
dump. He didn't literally say it. He let all of us say it, and he led us to basically going in to say it. And he would say, that's what they said. I didn't say it. I was just pointing out the obvious with my team. And it's like, well, we're just pointing out the obvious with your building is kind of what James is kind of saying here. And I think in the report here at the NFL League meeting in March, New York Jets chairman Woody Johnson, who along with Art Rooney, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Robert Kraft of the New England Patriots, Michael Bidwell of the Arizona Cardinals, which obviously a massive piece of this conversation, and David Tepper of Carolina Panthers received ownership grades a D or worse, called the survey totally bogus and hinted that it violated the CBA. Now, that would certainly be a move I would be doing as well if my shit was told to be bad to my fans who are expecting me to want to win as much as they do and everything like that. And I appreciate you saying it's the first time the players have really had a voice, and the NFL goes, that's illegal, can't have it. We've negotiated every way for you not to have a voice. What I am saying is, if I'm an NFL owner, a billionaire, and I didn't know that these things could potentially come out the way that they've come out the last couple of years, I think there should be some sort of agreement for both sides here, like the NFL and the NFLPA, because I don't think you can just eliminate these report cards at this point. I don't think you can eliminate a ranking at this point. I think the NFL is going to have to understand that, but we still need public pressure. We still need public pressure. That's the only way you do anything. And the league should want that, by the way. The league should want their buildings not to be ass.
Yeah, what I can say about being in that room when I had the chance to do these things was that was the vote, team captains and the NFLPA report card. Those were the two times where we handed out cards in the room and everybody stayed in there and thoughtfully went through their answers, because you don't want to screw up your team captains. You take a lot of pride in that. You know what it means. And you also wanted to get things right in terms of the building, both good and bad. You don't want to, like, we knew the volume that this held, the value that this holds. So we didn't want to screw that up. Like I said, Pro Bowl voting, top 100 voting, like all the awards, definitely those were just tossed. But those two were taken very seriously.
Yeah.
He's got won a lot of these awards. But you're saying if we're going to look at just this vote as opposed to all the other ones that are let's make sure if we're doing any voting, let's make sure it's transparency. Is what you're saying. We need transparency.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's been great. I think that it's been really cool to see which teams. And I mean, you talk to guys around the league, like what we've seen publicly reported in terms of the grades lines up with what you've heard from players. It's not like it's like, oh my gosh, that team was that bad. Like, well, no, I've heard that for years.
Jage,
or that team was that good. I've heard that for years.
Jage, to your point, one owner told ESPN the only owners who don't care for the report cards are the ones who get subpar grades. So owners that have invested in their building and everything like that, I think they're okay with the report cards coming out too. Yeah, good. That's a shit organization over there.
Do you think, like, between us, you just said whatever, 54 years or whatever between all of us, if we went down and we ranked, just from what we've heard from teammates and friends and guys around the league, and we ranked where we thought everybody ranked, I would bet we get pretty damn close to what those records were.
Yeah, because it's been talked about forever is what you're saying, basically. Like all of these places that are being showcased to the world for being ass, not necessarily the team, but the buildings, it's been talked about amongst players for a long time. So I think, Jage, the reason why you are potentially so upset is because finally there was maybe something that could change it. You know, because players have been telling their ownership groups for a long time about, hey, can we get another cold tub? Like, what can we get a...
Yeah.
Our team meeting is in the same places where we're eating. Like, can we add a shed?
And there is, I'll give a little defense to the ownership in that there has become a very high level of expectation from colleges having such unbelievable facilities to now kids coming in and seeing that, wait, some of these NFL facilities are way worse than my college facility. And now seeing what some other teams have done, or you've heard like, oh, wow, they have that. Why don't we have that? There is some of these requests are getting a little up there, but there is a baseline that there should be that a few teams definitely don't reach.
Younger, newer ownership too. Like I'm thinking about the big three here in Indianapolis. It's like they don't want their players to think like, hey, our stuff's shit.
Yeah.
Like I think there is a little bit more with younger owners, maybe as opposed to them cutting corners and saving every dollar. I think younger owners might be a little bit more in tune to like what is potential. So maybe this won't be an issue like in 10, 15 years as like the old, hey, this is bottom line business. People aren't going to invest in their company owners kind of fade away. But I think there is a little bit more because everything's social media, everything's shown. So you almost like see a lot more now of what's happening behind the scenes. So it's like I don't think anybody wants to get exposed anywhere.
Yeah, like the truly great owners see this stuff and they're like, hey, this isn't going to fly on my watch. Like after Dan Snyder, when he was the owner of the Commanders, like we remember they had all Fs, and then Josh Harris basically came in and said like, this isn't okay. You tell me exactly what you guys need so we can flip this around. And then they did, they had a brand new practice facility or practice field. They revamped the training room. Like they did all this stuff and they saw that their grades over the course of one season, like they weren't all Fs anymore. They went from the worst team in the NFL to like the middle of the pack. And like I think there are several owners who actually look at this stuff and they're like, that's not okay. This is not the reputation we want around the league.
I think there's some. Go ahead, Connor.
Well, and just solution-wise, like instead of making them public, can't they still all do the report cards still, and then submit them to the NFLPA or the owners, and then instead of the news being, hey, these are the report cards, could they not have like a league mandated yearly change where, hey, this is the report card and this is what we're changing in every building because the report card, instead of doing like, hey, this is the report card, it sucks, and then later on when all those grades do get better, to Ty's point, like you don't hear about the yearly changes or whatever. Really, you mostly focus on all the negative shit. That's just today and how it is. But if they do league mandated changes, can't that work?
The league will never mandate that billionaires that own the league have to spend more money guaranteed every single week.
Don't they have a
every single
G5
year.
fund?
But on that, no, that's to do like repairs and stuff like that, the things which could potentially be your building. But some of these buildings need full thing. I don't know if they'll ever agree to guaranteed money spending on the other side. Maybe they just release the top 25 teams in order.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Release the top 25 teams in order, and if your team's not on there, ass. Okay.
Can we build a song for it? Can we build a song for it and put a cartoon to it?
Maybe the top 12.
Yeah. Maybe they do put out the top. Well, 12, I don't
Top
think.
12 last place down to 1.
Yeah, but I don't
Shit
think.
back down to 1.
Yeah.
This team has no cold tub.
That's actually pretty good.
Pretty
Write
good.
that down. Write that down. Write that down. Let's not redact that. Let's keep.
You probably
going.
shouldn't have rookies, or well, maybe say, hey, only third. Like you got to be in the league 2 or 3 years before you take this poll. Because if you're a rookie coming in, you don't really know the ins and outs of the training room and the staff and all that, and you might have these elevated expectations coming from a crazy college place that they're trying to bring recruits in. So they have. That was always a known thing. I assume you guys knew that. Like, I assume when I went to the NFL, the facilities would be worse than college. I heard that going.
I was wondering if the facilities, because of NIL now, if college facilities will start to get a little worse.
House poor, brother. You don't want to be. Yeah, they don't want to have all the money up, all the investing money into facilities. Because guess what? We need that money for actually players. Yeah. So if we could actually sell about 4,000 square feet of this gym to somebody to get the money, it's prime real estate. No.
Is it anymore?
That's what we're saying.
Where are you going to be spending?
Be adequate now.
But if you have a shit ton of money, definitely have good facilities. And also, like down there at Texas Tech, they have so much money. So their facilities are going to be very nice, and they're going to have enough money to pay the shit, pay all the shit. For teams that don't have a shit ton of money, it's like, would we rather have money to give to players, or would we rather have money to upgrade our 15-year-old weight room rate? Like, that's the decision that's coming in. That's
kind of short-sighted though, because you want the top flight players, but we all know like you're only as strong as that. The middle of the pack, you're the guys that are playing special teams, like, and those are the guys that are not making the big money. But if it comes down to these 3 or 4 schools, like, okay, but these facilities are great, the meeting rooms, the hot tub, cold tub, all this different shit. Because even coming from UConn, like they made the guys that built it, they built a great facility, and then you go. Because I assume the opposite. I assume once you go to the NFL, everybody has top flight shit, and we definitely took a step down going from UConn to New England at that time. I don't know how much it's changed at this point.
Colts as well. Yeah, West Virginia. West Virginia was not. They built our facilities while we were there.
Same.
Pat White, Steve Slayton, you guys, Orlovsky, you guys kind of built that place, and they got to reap the benefits of it for sure.
I mean, AJ took a pay cut to go to the NFL, so
exactly. Yeah. Well, that's also with AJ though at Ohio State. They're an NFL factory there, so he's got a lot of OGs coming back and telling him about what the NFL is like, which I think is an advantage to a program that has a lot of NFL guys. West Virginia, we had Pack, Slim. Yeah, Chris Henry coming back and like basically telling us what NFL. I didn't have really any info about the NFL other than just being a fan of the NFL for my entire life because I grew up in Pittsburgh, and when the Steelers won, the world's better. Now, did I fall in love with the Pittsburgh Steelers? Certainly loved when they won, but I love the NFL players. Like I just like players. I like the league. I like everything about it. But I didn't know like the ins and outs of it, and I think it's because of West Virginia we didn't have a lot of like NFL guys. But to your point, I thought I was walking into the one that got drafted. I couldn't wait. I'm like. Man, every day I'm be walking into this place. I can't wait. First time I walk in.
Place is a shithole.
No. Didn't think that, but I did think, wow, like, I think West Virginia at this point has gotten nice. It was almost like, we're back to like my sophomore year at West Virginia all of a sudden. It's like we're sitting down, we got the cage lockers, obviously. There's no, it's like.
Hey, where were the Steelers at on that list? Because we know the Steelers they have to be where they are, splitting their facility with Pitt. Like, I would assume they didn't grade super high.
Yeah, Rooney was in a part of the conversation, yeah. And he
The split facility is wild. The split facility is wild.
Yeah, there's more information because Tomlin can go to Narduz and ask him questions, and Narduz can do the same.
They did the volleyball thing. Remember, they did volleyball down in punts.
Yeah, the Jews loves it.
Such a better bounce we can work on.
Your point about like when you walked in the NFL locker room is really interesting too, because if you think about it, who is in your locker room and like the leaders of the locker room and the guys that are giving you the information and teaching you how to be a pro, that is so vastly different from team to team. And it completely changes it because, like you said, you've never been in the NFL before. This is your first experience. And the only thing shaping your entire experience is this group. And if you got a shitty group, you have a completely different outlook, a daily routine, and future vision than a guy who comes into an incredible locker room and is set up for success.
I walked in there. Adam Vinatieri's on the team. Yeah, right. What a hilarious situation. Then Peyton's like one of the greatest leaders of all time. So I'm just going to watch these guys, I guess. I just lucked out that I just fell into the fucking greatest 10 years in the history of the NFL. I'm going to watch them. But to your point, like, that's the only reason why I was successful.
Greatest what?
Winningest decade in the history of the NFL, regular season.
Yeah, there you go. There it is.
I walked into
That was the
that
Colts.
last part.
We don't need the fucking...
I just walked into the Patriots locker room, so I thought that so we couldn't think the same thing.
Yeah, you
I walked
Tom
into the
Brady,
Steelers who
Vince
just won the
Wilfork,
Super Bowl the year before.
Randy Moss.
That's what I did.
Wes Welker,
Well, I paid Manning Dallas Clark, boys. You know,
Seymour, Teddy Bruschi.
Yeah, not enough trophies for those boys.
I agree.
They really fucked that up.
Ran into a tough squad up there in the Northeast.
Well, I mean, Phillip Rivers at home, too. I mean, they fucked it up.
Well, now, to be clear, Phillip Rivers at home was the reason why I got drafted.
Butch, shout out.
Yeah, so I appreciate
Let's
it.
not forget Steelers in Indy.
That's a good point.
Let's get out of here.
Guy
Talk
got
about
tagged.
this. We don't need to talk about. I appreciate you, man. You're the best. Keep killing it on Sundays, ladies and gentlemen. JJ Watt.
Yeah.